Welcome back, dear viewers. You're still watching The Breakfast Show live on Nile TV International. It's now time for our first topic of discussion for today, and we're going to be talking about, or shedding the light on the President's latest remarks as he called on the government to consolidate and boost the implementation of measures within the framework of empowering citizens with determination and special needs. And to shed more light on this topic, we're most delighted to be joined over the phone by Dr. Jihan Zahran, Educational Development and Technology Consultant. A very good morning, Dr. Jihan, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, dear.
Doctor, first of all, how do you see President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi's efforts in achieving a notable educational development for people with special needs and those differently abled?
Definitely, I have seen lots of factors actually in Egypt regarding that issue specifically. Because, because we were having a great help to that special needs specifically, but nowadays we are making more progress and professionally in education. Maybe I want to just focus about something that really may help not only in Egypt and Arab world, and that's what's making in Program Hope, if we hear about it in the States and Europe, this program is focusing on the awareness of the normal people to be able to help the special needs in their journey, in education, in life, in all the fields actually. So actually I want to focus about something that really in our hands, something that really we need to focus about all the fields and all, education specifically, of course, because if we have an example, just to be clear about that, if the special needs get joined in education and having integration in the normal people, so how can he can even have a little bit, the normal one is dealing with him all the time, he doesn't know the case, he doesn't know how to deal, he doesn't know how to help. Okay, so from that program in your specific field, and very interesting field actually that we're talking about, so we have to focus on our awareness and our knowledge, and then sharing knowledge to help them to get the special gifts working in the right way.
Dr. Jihan, what is the importance of putting in further effort and developing the education for this education for the special needs and their inclusion in the educational system?
All right. So after the pandemic, of course, we are working most rapidly in online. Okay. But most of the cases, it doesn't have this online system. It doesn't work effectively. But we have the dual degree, and we have the integrated system, which is offline and online at the same time. And it's focusing on the projects, on the practicing. Okay, so in the field of the practicing, or if we know to go in a progress and development in the technology and education, to that kind of special needs, we need to have practicing in a specific way in how integration with the normal and the special needs, having the same activity, okay? And of course, it is a selected or nominated activity, which is chosen according to the curricula, making a very good progress in their knowledge and their education. So we're talking about the integration in technology. We're talking about offline and online together in somehow, okay? And this is well known actually by the experts of that technology and education specifically. But if we're talking about how we can progress that education, we are talking about the sharing. We are talking about the sharing knowledge. You know that special needs, they have special gifted in some of the skills, all right? And they already known about these skills. When we focus about the skills that they already gifted, and we make integration between the normal and the special needs in that skill, you will have a little more progress and quick results. specifically when we're talking about education and technology.
Yes, indeed, Dr. Jihan. Also, the president has directed to enhance the social participation and the ensuring the rights of the people with special needs, that they reach their full potential and have their full rights. The ramifications of these remarks, in your opinion?
There is a lot of clarifications actually in their remarks, but the most important thing actually is that how to deal. And from your program, actually, I need to have initiatives. There is an initiative called IDMAJ, and this is from via Egypt. IDMAJ is talking about the awareness, and that's what the president's actually focusing on. The president's focusing on the awareness or how to deal. And how to deal has lots of projects, actually, progressing in so many fields. For example, I'll give you such, one remarkable happening lately. You know the sunflower sign, okay? This sunflower sign is internationally now used to be, aware that there is a special need in that place. Or if he holding a sunflower sign, we will know around him that he is a special need, so we can take care of. Most of the time, the special needs, maybe he just walking on the road or waiting for something or buying something maybe in the market or any place, and maybe he's a little bit slower, and maybe he is, giving a little bit nervous from the loud sound. But if you see that sign, you will understand the reaction of that kind, okay? And you can take care of it. Also, the awareness of the educational people and the people who is really working on that, that's really very important. And from your actually program, I just want to say, why don't we have small booklets, very small booklets, of how to deal with special needs around us everywhere, in the schools. Okay? So we can start from the knowledge from the beginning. We start from the students in education and all, the levels, elementary, intermediate, and high school, and even the higher education, to know a little bit info about how to deal with such special needs. And believe me, that will make a very big difference, as the president's really focusing on.
Dr. Jihan, in your opinion, what are the major challenges facing the educational sector in coping with and fully integrating the people with special needs or the differently abled in the educational system?
Of course, number one is the awareness of the people who's working on, and number two is the curricula itself. The curricula, most of the integration schools are working on a different curricula, okay? And that's actually a really big mistake. If we are working on the same curricula as the whole world is making, and we are only making difference in the mark, in the grades that we're giving them, and the way to deliver the information. Maybe I would just want to make it in a more explanation. For example, I have a science lesson. This science lesson will be the same as the normal one, okay? But we have two ways for the normal to explain it to them, and we have like 5, 6 ways to explain it to the special needs, okay? That's one of the main things that needs to be changed. Number two, if we are making the success regard or the score out of, for example, 80% of the normal, we can make it like 65% of the special needs. But we don't change the curricula, because if we change it, we will make them separated again. Because what's going on most of the schools and education, they are focusing on their curricula and they are making special curricula, and they are sitting the same together, and they don't learn from each other. So what is the reason? The reasons, as the President's really focusing on, is the integration, the real integration. The real integration coming from the real procedures. But we are making different ways to deliver the info. That's actually the challenging. And more of it, the awareness. Awareness, awareness. And this is actually what I'm focusing all the time. Awareness from the normal people to know exactly how to deal and how to integrate. And actually, we have standards to look forward. We are not inventing anything there. We have already Program Hope. We have already a lot of success stories regarding that procedures of education. And we also we need to follow. We need to follow in our way. And that's actually what I have to say about challenges.
Dr. Jihan, also speaking about the educators or the teachers dealing with people with special needs, what do you think would be the necessary type of training or capacity building that they should or must receive in order to be fully aware of the requirements or the needs of those differently abled students, and that they can deal with them in an efficient and healthy way?
Actually, lately happening in Egypt, a lot of increasing numbers of such special needs instructors and educators. And that's really a very great sign, because we were before that maybe the students and didn't get so much educators in some of the latest technology or the latest education to how to deal with them. But nowadays we have that, okay? So that's a very good sign of what's happening in Egypt nowadays. The next step is the educators themselves. They are special, actually. They are having the skill. They have to get the skill of the love. they have to get the passion of what they're doing, because actually they are getting help to themselves, and that's what the main core of what I want to say. The educator or the teacher who's working with special needs, he is already a gifted teacher. He is already have something really different, and he has something that really coming back to his inside to working in that. And I think the people who's really initiative and to be a teacher and get training to teach the special needs, they are already unique teachers. Believe me, very unique, and they are really getting more knowledge and more psychiatric knowledge and more integration to having the results of getting way to integrated teachers and students as well in technology education.
Indeed, yes, indeed, Dr. Jihan. Doctor, also we're witnessing nowadays development in the field of education in Egypt, and also bilateral cooperation between Egypt and Japan in the educational sector. How do you assess this cooperation and your insights on the impact of this cooperation on the educational sector in Egypt?
Okay, the expert of Japanese initiatives, what in education actually, it's related to, the behavior more. It's related to the activity more, not the curricula, okay? Let's talk about what they are doing as the Japanese initiative. In the behavior of the Japanese students, they are having the self-independent in their school. And that's really, we need it. We need it in our education. We need it in our children to have the skill of self-independence, of the loyalty of the place. When I just take care of my place and take care of my equity and take care of my school, okay, and having all the time the initiative to protect mine prosperity, that will make loyal to the place. So it's going to be mine. When I take care of it, it's mine. It's like your home. And that's the main core of the Egyptian initiative with the Japanese one. We need to have that loyalty and that have behavior to belong to the place that we already spend more time than our home. And that's the main issue, by the way. And of course, that's really having a very good effect on the students. If it works in a nice way, of course, we will have a very good result related to that. Moreover, the activities itself. The activity is very technological, and the activities is very practical, and more simple to have the more knowledge of the curricula it's used. But mainly, it is activities and lifestyle in education.
Dr. Jihan, in your opinion, do you think that collaboration and continuous efforts from the government and relevant ministries, aside from the Ministry of Education and Technical Education, is needed to improve the educational system in Egypt?
Yeah, you mean the way that's going on nowadays needs to be improved?
Yes.
Okay. Of course, all the system and all the world needs to be improved all the time. Okay, we need to be updated all the time. And we need to have the more latest way. Education is not a fixed thing that we have to follow, and that's it. They have really, in the Ministry of Education, have a great steps happening from like a few years ago. And nowadays, they're having the more curricula, the international curricula, integrated, of course, with ours. And that stuff is making a very good result if we are making in the right way. And, of course, integration making us having the international criteria. And makes the student himself, when he graduates, he know exactly, he will not be unique. He will not be, like low. He will be on the same level as all international education fields in his level, whatever is elementary and intermediate and high school. So integration is happening nowadays in the Ministry of Education is already a very good progress. And the knowledge and focusing on the research skills, which is really, I can see from using most of the way of the technological and the knowledge websites and most of the learning management system nowadays. So they are working on the right way, but we need actually most of the time training for the educators and teachers who's really giving or delivering the info. Our students nowadays, actually, they don't need us a lot, okay, as teachers. They can search by themselves, and they know knowledge before us. So we are having in speed, we are a competition with them all the time. This is not the students now, we need to deliver the information. No, this is the info to the teacher himself to have the competition, okay, with the students to be a little bit aware for what the mindset of nowadays, and in each lesson he is giving to him. So the challenging most of the time with the teacher, not with the student. Of course, you know what I mean.
Yes, indeed. Dr. Jihan, steps needed to build a positive society and through education.
Definitely. Definitely. We need the teamwork, you know. Okay, Mr. Karim, we need the teamwork. We need to work together. We need to share knowledge together. Even in all the fields, especially education. Education is sharing info. So when the teacher knows something, why don't we share it with the other teacher working in the same field and having the model most of the time, having the analysis. We need to all the time report of what our leaders getting on. If we are using the new system, we have to know exactly if that system working effectively or not by time. We have to make a model. And that's in business most of the time that's related to our education. When we start having an initiative or when we start having a new system, we have to get a model, okay, to measure our success, to measure our weak points and strength points and working on the trees and the opportunity that we're having to develop that. So I'm just also advising actually the people who's working in the Ministry of Education, in all the fields, in related to education itself, and like from A to Z in that field. Please, having a model and working on it, and by time you will have successfully doing the right way and developing. We are developing all the time. We need to be developed like all over the world. We
Yeah.
cannot stop on one point.
Indeed, Dr. Jihan, development is key, as you have kindly noted, and we will end it here. Thank you so much for your insight, Dr. Jihan Zahran, Educational Development and Technology Consultant. Really appreciate your input and your participation on the Breakfast Show. And dear viewers, now we move on to a quick break, and then I'll be back to resume the remaining segments of the Breakfast Show live on Nile TV International.